this campus here is that we have a lot of grants. So I was, for a while, I was also running East Campus. I was there for 9 months while we were transitioning, finding a vice president over there. And so got to know East Campus also. I was just talking to Tim here, and they have a cyber security, a cyber warfare range, really cool stuff over there. If any of you are interested in that. My son, I have a son who's 22 years old. His name is Amali. Oh, thank you. I have a son that's 22. I have a 30-year-old and a 22, but my son Amali this morning, and I'm thinking about him just because he's interested in cybersecurity also, and he's trying to decide if he gets a master's degree, what's it going to be in. Cybersecurity is a big deal these days. Right now, you know, you have the dual notification stuff and any of that kind of stuff. From my experience, you know, if you're trying to explore what you want to do, that kind of career is interesting to me because I think it's just going to keep expanding. There's going to be opportunities there. That's kind of what we're talking about today is careers. Like, how do you pick your career, and you know, what guides you that way? How do you determine? Maybe you don't know. I don't think any of us, when we're 5 years old in kindergarten, and we were talking about what we want to be when we grow up. You know, most of us are saying firemen, policemen, doctors, whatever it was. Like I wasn't 5 years old and saying I want to be a vice president at a community college, right? No, I mean, it kind of guides you in different directions. So yesterday, I went to go speak at an event over at the downtown campus. They were hosting a group here called the Tucson International Academy. You looking for STU100? Come on in. It's going to sign in right there. Their Tucson International Academy is a charter school. Any of you go to school there? Tucson International Academy?
I've heard of it.
You heard of it? There's like 4 different locations. So they had this career day, and you had people, FBI, Pima Community College Police, all these different groups, which is really cool because I think a lot of times, you know, we get into one area and then it kind of exposes us to something else, and we figure out, you know what, I'm kind of interested in this, and we go this way. Or we say, you know what, I'm gonna try this. Come on in. You get to sign in right here. So what the reason I'm talking about yesterday, I was there and I spoke to about, I think there was like 250 high school students, freshmen to seniors, right? And I don't know like how to communicate with high school students these days. You know, I'm used to, the average age here at Pima is 27 years old, so you could imagine some of you are, but it varies, right? Everybody kind of decides at a different time. But there, you know, you got young people and they're just sitting there, and I'm thankful because they're well behaved and everything, but you don't know if what you're saying is landing, right? You don't know if how things are going is landing with them. But the one thing that I try to share with them that I want to share with you when you're picking careers or you're deciding things is be okay with embarrassing yourself. And let me tell you what I mean by that. So many of us try to go into situations where, you know, we feel awkward or it's weird. We don't want to embarrass ourselves. And you've got to really be okay with embarrassing yourself. And I've done it plenty of times, but you've got to put yourself in that mode so you feel like you end up opening up to different things. Yeah. Did I talk to you guys last time about the 4 W's? Did we talk about that last time? Because I don't want to repeat it. Okay, I probably didn't. Go ahead and sign in here. Front and back if you're not on the front page. So the 4 W's are this. So as you kind of try to explore, hey, what kind of career do I want to have? What do I want to do the rest of my life? What's my purpose? Like, how do I find my purpose? Because that's kind of what we're trying to do. We're just kind of searching for something that's going to give us purpose in life, right? And then the other thing is, I don't know if any of you heard of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? So Maslow's hierarchy of needs is kind of like a pyramid, right? As far as how you can get to that higher self. But the first and foremost need is the basic stuff: food, shelter, water, you know, the basic things that you need, safety, right? And then once you have those things, then you could start getting to the higher self. So the 4 W's is this. First of all, when you start kind of trying to decide, like, which career path am I going to go into here? What am I going to work on? So you start to have some curiosity, some wonder. Like, I'm wondering, and you got to have some deep thinking. That's why I think meditation or anything like that is important, right? Now, once you get that wonder, you start thinking, you try to hear the whisper. And what I mean by the whisper is, like, what inside of you your higher self is telling you what you want to do, and you got to listen to not the lower self, because you do have a lower self also. You got to get to that higher self, right? And once you hear that whisper, like, I think I want to go this area. What's life telling me? Where's it guiding me? Then you hear that whisper. Then the next thing is you put in the work. And what I mean by work is this: if you start hearing that whisper and it's taking you guiding you some sort of way, then you start putting in the work as far as you start exploring, like reading books, or you start looking stuff up as far as what that career is all about or what's going on and should I do it. You start talking to some people, right? You start getting to know some people that work in that area, and then what happens is the wisdom comes, right? It doesn't just happen, boom, wisdom. No, you got to put in the work, and that's kind of where that stuff goes. So I'm going to share with you a personal story, and some of you weren't here last time, but I've been here at Pima for 27 years and been the vice president here for I think the last 6 years. But before that, when I first started here at Pima, I started off as a baseball coach. I was a middle school social studies teacher, and I was coaching high school baseball. Then I came over here, coached baseball at Pima, was head coach here, became the athletic director. Had some amazing experience in athletics, right? I played baseball, Division I baseball, University of New Mexico. I coached the USA team in 2002, and I don't try to say that to impress you, but to try to impress on you something that was indelible for me. And when I mean indelible, if you guys know what that word means, it means leaves a mark that can't be taken away. It's like a tattoo, right? It's an indelible impression. And so what happened to me when I was growing up, I was really pigeon-toed. I mean, I was like this. I mean, I would like trip 5 steps walking down. I was like, you ever watch that movie Forrest Gump? I used to have these braces I used to have to sleep with, and I was probably the most uncoordinated, the most awkward kid there was till about 4th, 5th grade. I mean, my dad even said to my mom, this is later, I hope he's a scholar because he's not going to be no athlete, right? I was literally the slowest runner. I mean, I just was really just an awkward kid. I used to have to wear these shoes. They were like bowling shoes. You guys seen bowling shoes like that? Like I wore those shoes. Those are my shoes all the way till 4th grade. Never had a pair of tennis shoes. I used to have to wear these special shoes, right? And literally would be the last one picked every time. I just was like, I mean, it wasn't terrible. Like kids weren't teasing me. You get teased all the time, but it wasn't anything that like left trauma or anything like that. But I just was just a slow, awkward, unathletic kid. And then all of a sudden, my dad, who was in the Marine Corps, and I ended up joining the Marine Corps after college, my dad started to have me do push-ups with my feet out like this. So my feet were out, and I was kind of doing push-ups. I would just do these all the time. And my feet started to straighten out a little bit. All of a sudden, in 4th grade, my best friend, Eddie Carrasco, from 4 years old, gave me my first pair of tennis shoes. They were actually literally these black Converse, right? And I'm thinking, when you're a kid and you get these shoes, and you're like, man, I'm faster than ever now, and I'm trying to run. I remember I tripped after about 10 steps, but I used to hide these shoes because like I felt so cool with my new tennis shoes. And then about 5th grade, like 10, 11, I mean, my first year playing Little League Baseball, literally, I didn't get one hit. I either got hit with the ball, walked, or struck out. That was at the close. I remember I had a foul ball one time that I thought was fair, but it ended up going foul. But I just kept playing the game I loved. Like I loved baseball, even though I wasn't very good at it. And I had good Little League coaches. Not good in the sense of that they were like knew a lot about baseball, just good people, right? Just made me enjoy the game, right? And I always thankful for that, because think if I would have had like a jerk coach that yelled at me or cussed at me, I probably would have said, you know what, I'm not going to do this. But I love the game of baseball, so I just kind of kept hanging around it. 11-year-old, something happened. Like I started getting faster. 12 years old, I made the all-star team of Little League. I get to high school, all of a sudden, like I'm one of the fastest now. My sophomore year of high school, which is rare back in the 80s, early 80s, I played varsity football, played varsity baseball as a sophomore. I wrestled, played soccer. I was like athletics was a big deal for me. But I always think back where I was doing something I love, and I wasn't the best at it at that time. I got better, but you got to find something you love, and you don't have to be the best at it. I have my fiance. She actually has 3 kids, and they're older. They're a couple in graduate high school already, or all 3 of them actually. And I always feel like they got to be the best at something to try. Like they don't want to do something unless they're going to be good or the best at it. And everyone was a beginner when you first start something, right? Now, if you find something that you love in a career that you think might give you some purpose and you're not the best at it, don't compare yourself to others. Just enjoy it. Like do what you love to do, and then life will guide you, right? I talked a little bit about the book. I think we talked about this, the book The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. And it's all about the law of attraction and how you put yourself out there. You seen that book, Tim?
Yeah.
So that's kind of the stuff where, like, careers and all this stuff is that you just got to keep exploring. Don't feel you have to know something right now. Now, here's the other thing that, and we talked about how I got put on. Did I tell you guys when I was in college I got put on academic probation? So so learning though, like how to study, learning how to make sure that you get things done what you need to get done, right? And that kind of what clicked for me when I was able to make that association with sports and academics, right? Because I've never been like the smartest or anything like that, but what I've done and what I know is that if you have that grit to put in the time and effort, like you can learn anything or get through anything. So here's what I want you to do. All right, I need you to get in either good groups of 2 or 3. And this is what you're going to do. We talked about this a little bit last time. Oh, before I get started. So this website right here, youtube.com, we're filming the class today. So if you missed something and you want to go back and look at it, you can check it out. Thanks to Tim. I appreciate that. And then Tim, I've designated him, and there might be somebody else. If you have any trouble uploading your information or getting your assignments turned in, Tim's done that. He can help you. And then the other thing I want you to know is this. We have the autonomy as teachers to kind of teach classes the way we want, right? We can do it however we want. I'm going to open up every single assignment so you guys can get it done. They're not going to be late. I'm not going to mark off points. My job, my goal is to make this class not a burden, but an asset to your other classes. Like I want you to come in here, use the stuff that you read or learn here and then apply it to your current classes. Like I want you to work on other classes here and do your assignments in here so that we can talk about something, you have a question, we can figure it out, right? It's getting down to, we got 7 weeks left and you got finals and other classes, right? That's a lot of work. I mean, you should start preparing now for those finals down the way, right? So I want you guys to use this time to your advantage, right? So here's what I need you to do. Get in groups of 2 or 3, and then this is what you're going to do. What's your name?
Edna.
Edna. Mm-hmm. Okay, so Edna, and this is just going through. I'm going to ask her, so what are you studying? It's nursing, right? No, what are we talking about? Paralegal, right, okay. And then why do you want to be a paralegal? It's just a good job or whatever?
Well, I've been working in the humanitarian field for the past 5 years.
Okay.
And I noticed that there's a gap. My focus is immigration law.
Oh, yes. Okay.
And I've just realized that there's just a gap of people not knowing what's out there, and that there's pro bono organizations that provide free legal advice. A lot of people don't even know that exists. So my goal is to work for like Chicanos por la Causa or like the Florence Project, but I need to have some sort of certification to be able to help those people.
Gotcha. Okay,
yeah.
So your why is, and I love this, and first of all, I gotta, we'll talk offline a little bit, but the Chicanos por la Causa and all that stuff, I've got connections there, and I've got some network there. So
I'm actually doing an internship with
Are you?
right
Okay,
now.
good, yeah. So I know her why. So she has a passion for immigration and most like that. So I would say, hey, Edna, she's studying. She wants to be a paralegal, and she wants to get into immigration to make people aware of what's out there as of services, right? What's going on, And so this stuff. So then she's gonna ask me why, and then she'll tell everybody about me, right? So you're gonna interview the person. You're gonna ask them what are they studying, and it might be, they don't know yet. They're just kind of taking classes. And then why it might be, hey, I want to make a difference. I want to leave an impact on the world and connect people with resources or whatever. Or it might be, I've got kids. I want to make sure we have a good life I want a job with a livable wage so I can live a life of meaning and purpose, right? Whatever it is, you know, and I know it's kind of uncomfortable, whatever, and maybe it's not for you guys, but I know for when I do this with high school students, they have challenges with. But so here's what get in groups of 2. If there's a third person, kind of an odd person, then Edna, you're already done with your job. I already did it. Yeah. So you're good.
Okay.
So Edna, maybe you could help somebody else out that needs somebody.
Okay.
But and then just I need the question is what are you studying, and your why. All right, and it's simple. It doesn't have to be a lot. So go ahead and move your desk around, talk to somebody, and I'll give you about 5 minutes to interview. So what you're studying?
Yes, I will interview.
Alright, what you studying?
If you need me to go into more detail on what I just
I
said.
am studying.
You go first.
I'm not studying TIM. I am, but I'm just CIS.
That's kind of it. My long-term goal is to get a degree.
Okay. ALA.
It's not that great.
Apellida, right?
Yeah. It's all like.
Are you here? Oh, you already signed in? Okay. Yeah. No, so we'll just get the assignments done. And,
Okay. It was by.
do you need help with anything? Okay. So let me see if I can get somebody who speaks Spanish. Edna puede. Okay. So hablar con Edna.
It's really, it's like 10
Nice.
Okay, so I'm gonna have you can meet her just
Yes, no problem. Hola, buenos días. So I think it's like the first 3 or 4 weeks is free, and then after the 4th week, then you start doing like $150 for my husband, because he's like, you should get into IT, cybersecurity, it's gonna be a big deal. Like, I know, but like, I'm not that good, the greatest with computers. So I did the first 3, 4, 5 interviews, but it just got
So
very overwhelming.
it's your skills. And you're finding it. So it's a good way.
Well, the very legal field is they make too. I mean, you always
And I mean, immigration right now, like
they just have open borders.
I don't know if you've heard of CASA. It's shelter so a lot of people were crossing, and I think it's still happening. I resigned from the position because I got sick, and I just was very overwhelmed, so I just quit. And I was assigned to the I don't know how. And like it's crossing the border. And a lot of us people, they just because they made it to the U.S., a lot of these people like have this mentality.
I also noticed.
And I had we kind of like have a tension. Like your process is very fast.
But in
Because we're here in the
educational technology.
like now we have the process all of that. It's a process that can take between 3 months depending on the person's situation. I just started school. So my role was to kind of like
Failed marketing attempts.
like do intake assessments, provide the basic needs, clothing, on top of providing them the advice that they needed and kind of like guide them.
How long do you have to go to school for?
In reality, it's only a 2-year learning program. Is 2 years.
So just your associates?
Yes, just I'm just ready to get my associates. But since I was working full time and I had like an additional part-time job, I was
Sign it right there.
part-time classes.
Yeah, pretty much this. It's the competition.
I'm about to graduate hopefully first class next
Overly long sentence. For your reason, so I used to want to be a rock star.
Most of them are ladies
And I realized that I'm not a rock star. Which is weird, right? But now I'm going to, like you, I'm going to use the attributes and the skills that I do have and still make an impact.
I'm doing an internship.
It's more realistic.
Alright,
The actual.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm working for them and it's paid, and I'm learning a lot of stuff in immigration that I wasn't even thinking of working. So just by working there,
Guitar is my favorite instrument. I play with
it's
guitar.
actually I'm getting the skills that I need to eventually later on in this be able to
So I play all the other instruments too.
Imagine if you were like, you came like a small town where you're
Playing instruments.
Yeah, but I'd have to get a bachelor's and like take the ball.
What happens a lot.
It's gonna, if I do that, it's gonna take me a little longer.
The more you stick with it, the more you have fun.
be known. Like,
It really builds up over time. But how people
Like I did the
people fare with my
Yeah, so my goal is to hopefully work on this district attorney or one of those non-profit organizations. Yeah, outside of Lawrence County, where I give valuable services. There's two people. So and I'm like, so that's what. No, we don't. Because that's why I have all the time in the world to be.
And so like,
Yeah.
I go to
Yeah, I'm
Mongo
married.
One, and what it is like you have the
What they have?
kind of music.
so but
Maria.
what I told is
You speak Spanish?
Mostly like really good video.
It's not to
We're talking.
So entonces, la
Great
pregunta
team.
es,
So I can tell you that started pretty underrated time. There was more elitism, so we listened to like rap, Metallica, and stuff. This is not as complex. We're gatekeeping it.
I just have to check because I'm like looking at some different
We love it now.
what you guys are looking at. But Tim will help me to understand.
yeah, that makes sense because everything usually is.
Okay, that's okay. I'll mention that.
It's how rapid hip hop is breaking the conventional
I'm gonna say
just doing things for the sake of the sound.
What's your name? Natalie. What's your last name? So, if any of you are wondering where those assignments are, D2L. Are all of you familiar with D2L? Okay. Yeah, make sure you get on the D2L. All right.
If you need any help finding D2L, navigating D2L, let me or
Yeah, no, Tim will help you with that. He's my tech guy. I've recruited him. All right. You're welcome. All right, give you guys about 5 more minutes to talk, and then we'll get started reporting out.
also an outlet for an inspired creativity.
So maybe
Also, if any of you have to get the assignments done, I just opened it up again. You can turn it in. There's no late thing, no due date, I opened it up. And then, if you ever have an assignment, you didn't get it done, and you want me to open up an assignment so you can do it, just send me an email or text me, and then I'll open it up again for you. Yep.
Inspiring.
Yes, yeah, that's part of the discussion. We just posted in that little thread. Yep.
because this class is not in her.
Yeah, you can do that discussion part too. You could talk about
So maybe she
you know,
missed last.
so you weren't here. Were you here not here last week? Or?
Professor or just we kicked her out of her class.
Oh yeah, you wouldn't have the discussion.
And
Yeah,
it's
you gotta
not
wait
on
till
her
the meeting on
class
those
list.
ones. Yeah, wait till we meet. Yeah.
So,
So
I would talk to him then.
sí,
Yeah.
yo también. Porque aquí te
The
tienen
class
que
isn't
decir-
popping up in her D2L.
it's not popping up. Okay.
No, she missed last week.
Well, let me see if I can get you back. You know, I might have marked it after. Let me see. So what's the last name? Valencia, right? Valencia.
Guys just content or
Natalia Valencia.
it's always cool. Love music.
No. Okay, let me sign you.
Sí, como que para que te controlen. Y esta clase
No, my daughter's saying she went to GC.
aquí te enseñan
Let me know if there's anything that you think different you went there, anything you don't like about this
sí, o
center.
sea, como que te ayudan como para guiarte y para que tú sepas exactamente.
She did her first year and she was like,
Porque yo lo tuve que haber, yo esta clase la tuve que haber agarrado desde un principio. O sea, me das cuenta que mi grip lo dejé. Sí, me fui a sí. Haz de cuenta que me adapté para agarrar. De hecho, esa es una clase que se ocupa para cualquier carro. O sea, es de las primeras que tienes que tomar. Pero como te digo, yo I just started to do hard stuff y la dije hasta y cosas así. Pero es muy flexible, toma, para abrirlos así.
Planning on doing that. You talk to people at a lunch club.
La neta, si ya estás aquí, ya empezaste. Para que te la quites así. Y es un premio y a fuerzas, later on, te la y luego son como por ejemplo, me da flojera venir porque veo que si
Okay. Edna,
You know who that?
so have her log out and log back in.
a ver, salta por
Yeah, see if we can see if I can.
Say it one more time. Anna?
Pero salte por completo, hazte logout por completo. Sí, hazte logout, cierra y luego vuelve.
not really, dude. Like,
Que tiene que hacer eso.
Go to network.
So, todo esto tú quieres transferir eventualmente si quieres hacer.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and get started here. We'll start on at this end of the class here. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna introduce whoever you're talking to, and then you're gonna tell me what they're studying and their why. Okay? Go ahead.
This is Alyssa. She's studying nursing, and she also has interest in
Vuélvete a
psychology
salir y antes de que
and physiology.
saca la casa, vuélvete
And her
a
why
hazte
we
un
wanted to help
completo.
the actual patients instead of kind of just coming there for the check. More empathy.
Gotcha. I love it. Love it. Okay. Ben Castillo, right? Yep. I just met him. Yeah. All right. Okay. Oh yeah. Where are you a PT at?
LA, and I kind of run on the side.
Oh, nice. Okay. Oh, cool, cool. So I mean, you want a personal trainer? Here's your guy. All right, go ahead. You didn't get no one? Okay, go ahead. Oh, you know what? Just tell me who you are.
Yeah, my name's Vargas. Why are you here?
Yeah.
I'm here because I actually, when I first started out, I didn't expect to be in the medical field.
Mhm.
But you know, the why I'm here is because I like to make people happy.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of like why I got in the medical field.
Mhm.
Because we need more positivity in the world.
Mhm.
We need more change, you know. So if I can do that one smile at a time on the patient, the person, then I'll do it, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm into it, and second, to get my family a better life.
There you go. Love it. Love it. Okay.
Great.
Thank you for doing that, Marcus. So okay, I got to tell you guys a story because I just heard this story yesterday, right? I'm a storyteller, by the way, and I'm fascinated by people, as you can tell. But here's the story. So it was just last night. I had heard this story a while back, but but I just feel like we feel need to say something. I want to say something. Marcus kind of just gave me the thought. So there's this guy. He's walking along the beach, right? And along the beach, he sees this guy like way in the background. Looks like he's dancing or something, doing. And he's kind of just keep noticing the guy, and he sees the guy doing all this stuff, and he thinks he's dancing, right? And so he goes over there, and on the beach, there's a bunch of starfish, right? They all kind of are up on the beach, and the water brought them up, so, you know, potentially they could die because they should be in the water. So he goes up there, and he sees the guy, and what he realizes is the guy is not dancing. He's actually grabbing the starfish, and he's throwing it back in the water. And there's thousands of starfish. So the guy tells him up, hey, I've seen you doing this, but how are you going to make a difference? He says, there's thousands of starfish up there. And when he says that, he grabs up this last one, he says, throws it in, and says, I just made a difference for that one. So a lot of times we think this thing is too big, too large, but it's kind of like Marcus said, is that, hey, if it's just one person, you made a difference for that person. People in life, in my existence, is what I've learned is they're one key relationship away from making a positive change or a difference. And for some of you might have that key relationship in your life already, or you might be that key relationship, right? So I just wanted to share that because it kind of sparked my memory.
It's kind of like this one situation, like when I was going to medical assistant school. I had just graduated, I'm getting out, and I think it was about like a few months afterwards, I just look over and I see a girl just so sad, crying with these two other people. And these two people kind of just walked away, and she was just left there still sad. And I was like, so I just walked over to her, like, I was just like, gave her a hug, and I go, whatever you're going on in life, I go, just know that there's somebody going through worse.
Yeah.
And she looked at me, and she just put this biggest smile.
Yeah.
Instantly, and she just looked at me, she's like, I needed to hear that, thank you.
Yeah, no, I love it.
It makes me give a better lookout for today's in my life. And then she walked away, and I was just like,
that's beautiful, because a lot of people wouldn't have gone, like we talked about earlier, just don't be afraid to embarrass yourself or be like, she could have said get away, whatever, but you didn't. Hey, you're going to give it a shot, right? And you made a difference for her.
At least if she didn't feel like it and told me to go away, at least she'll go back later that day when someone's being nice to her and be like, oh yeah, this guy was trying to be nice
actually be nice, yeah.
No,
I think a lot of times we put ourselves in, we've all had trauma in our life. There's nobody that's doesn't have trauma. It's just where you are on that spectrum of trauma, where it's been. And what happens, I think, a lot of times, and I see this in the military all line, and I've heard this actually from there, where in the Marine Corps, a lot of the whether it's Army soldiers, Marines, they come back and they have this PTSD or whatever it is, trauma they've experienced, or personal trauma. Maybe something bad happened as a kid, or somebody you care about passed away, whatever that might have happened that caused that trauma. But here's what I think what you've got to realize sometimes in life is, if you've experienced something negative, that's just a chapter in your book. It's not the whole book, it's just a chapter. And I think sometimes, and you're not going to forget about it, but it's a chapter. It's not the whole book. And if you can put that mindset, okay, that's a chapter in my book, I'm putting that aside, but I'm going to keep moving on, and that's going to kind of make a difference for you. So, yeah, were you going to say something, Tim?
I would really like to just quickly add to your starfish story and connect it with what you were just saying and the thing about the higher self. So, I just think that it's also really important that he probably distinguished that the difference that it made to the starfish was a big difference to him, and that was being in touch with his higher self.
Love it. See, and guys, this is what I want you to feel comfortable with. I want you to feel comfortable stopping a discussion, talking about a discussion. This isn't a formatted type of thing. This is like, I'm learning from you as much as you're learning from me, and that's the, like, I haven't thought about that, but that's the other thing that we're thinking. Yeah, he's making a difference with the starfish, but also making a difference for himself because he feels better about it. So, and I want to add that to you. So, and if we don't get to everybody today, we'll get to you next week. So, I know the class ends like about 9:30. I have an employee here, right? We had this professional development day. And this professional development day, you might meet him. He might come in here. And I shared this story with him also because it's heartbreaking, but it's also enlightening too. So I have an IT guy. His name's Sean Soto. He's no relation to me, but do you know Sean?
No,
you were shaking your head.
I was
Okay.
just surprised at the
Yeah. So we had this professional development day. I run cabinet meetings, right? I'm in charge of this whole campus, and I have to bring people from different student services, call in different programs, and we meet once a month, talk about things going on, just kind of connecting, right? And I had a guy coming in just to help us get to our, so we work better efficiently. And one of the things is that, hey, who on campus is kind of your best, you feel most connected with, or that you feel is the most helpful? And literally we had 15 people in there, including me. all 15 people put Sean Soto. Every single one. He's our IT guy, right? He's kind of a quiet guy, whatever. And I'm like, wow. I said, God, how did every single person pick this Sean Soto? And so I said, I pull him aside. I said, what do you do that like you connect with everybody, like everybody loves you? He says, well, and this is, he actually, his approach to life is like probably opposite of everything. Like he gets up in the morning, he says he imagines it's going to be the worst day ever. Things are going to go terribly wrong. But then if it's not that worse, in his head, it's like, hey, it wasn't so bad. It was a good day. So and then for me, I'm like, oh, you got to stay positive. You got to do, but he's got a different way, but it works for him. So his thing is this. I said, Sean, what do you do that you're able to connect with people? He says, when I go into somebody's office to fix their computer, I figured to myself, I'm not very smart, which is sad. I could probably learn something from this person, right? Now that's where the genius is. That's the golden stuff, because if you get to the point in your life where everybody knows something that you don't know, all people are fascinating. That's, like I said, why we like movies, like why we like following people. People are fascinating to me, And so if you can connect with that person in a way where, hey, this person knows something I don't know, and let me try to connect with them,
Well, yeah, it goes back, like when I was working at AutoZone,
Mhm.
like all these customers that come in, I noticed the other employees, they just like, they don't interact with them,
Mhm.
I'm the complete opposite. I see a person walk in, I'm trying to break the ice with this.
Oh, yeah.
So like every time like when a person walks in, I'm immediately trying to read that person.
Yeah.
Like what is this person gonna want to
Mhm.
talk about? What do they like? So me breaking the ice is like when I see someone come in, I get that feeling, oh, they like to joke.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, what'd you do? Did you just steal that? What did you do?
Yeah.
Looks at me, he starts laughing, immediately it's more comfortable
Yeah.
interaction,
Yeah.
And I get asked by the employee, one of my coworkers, like, so you're good with your customers.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? You trying
No,
to,
I love that, Marcus.
He
Yeah.
looks at me, he's like,
Yeah.
you trying to upsell him? I'm like, no. I was like, yeah, of course, for the store to help
Yeah.
you do good, but that's not what I'm looking out for.
I'm trying to make a
I'm
connection.
trying to make that person walk in here comfortable and walk
Yeah.
out comfortable.
I'll tell you what, that's a game changer. Like I said, I've been in this college for 27 years, right? And I think the reason I've been able to, be here so long is because every student that I've talked to, and some of you, I've treated like, well, I want my own two sons to be treated. You want somebody caring for them. You want somebody that's going to go above and beyond for them. I've been that way for 27 years. It's just kind of who I am, right? I mean, I used to get teased when I was a kid, especially if you grow up in a Mexican-American family and you got that machismo going, man. Like kindness, man, is not a great skill all the time, right? You gotta be hard. I mean, you get picked on, but that was just kind of my nature. Like and for a long time, I would just try to, I gotta try to act like I'm. No, kindness, like I tell people, don't mistake kindness for weakness, right? Like don't be afraid to be kind, and people, they take advantage of you. No, you know what? You won't get taken advantage of, and you're all smart enough, but if you can just extend some kindness, and that's why I love like the immigration and things going on is that, right now in our world, we got such a, extreme political, extreme left, extreme right, it's a challenging time, but the challenge is people aren't willing to sit down and have a conversation. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, if we can just sit down, have a conversation, we'll find out. All of us want to feel joy and be happy. All of us want to avoid pain. All of us want to be seen, heard, and valued, right? And it's just being able to make that connection, right? So, you go out there and you put that out in the world. There's some, but to get back to my Sean Soto story, it's kind of sad that he goes in there thinking that, but isn't that the genius of his ability to connect with people? Is that being open to listen and to hear people and to connect. And kind of what Marcus said along the lines of, for so long in my life, I would feel like I had to, and I talk a lot here because I'm the instructor, but you got to listen more than you talk sometimes, and you just got to be willing to, like, what's that person across from me? What do they need? How can I put air in their tires and make them feel good about themselves, right? AutoZone thing there, put air in their tires, right? Wait. So, anyways, okay, let's keep going here. Go ahead, introduce your.
Her name is Natalie, and she's actually from Mexico. And she is in school for business, and she says because she didn't know what else to study. But I told her you start somewhere, and she's only 19. So
Okay. Perfect. All right. Good. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Respiratory therapy.
Yeah. And I remember since you came in here with her little stethoscope the other day. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
go to work after.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. No, good stuff. Go ahead.
This is Ellie. She's working in behavioral health, and she's going to school to get her psychology and or master's in psychology.
Nice.
So she's going to be working with counseling with kids and everything like that.
Oh, love it, love it. We need that. You know, my older son Jonas, he's actually he just got a job at Miranda Health, but he got his degree in psychology, and it's a tough field. Like, we need help. I mean, we really do. You know, I one of the things that one of my former ball players, we talk about, you know, treating people, you know, what happens is you end up creating relationships that are lasting forever. But this guy played for me 20 years ago, and he's been dealing with a lot of dependency issues. You know, he tore his ACL when he played baseball for me, then when he played in Kansas, but he got hooked on that opiate stuff, right? Which then goes to fentanyl, right? Which goes to others. But he's been in and out of rehab, in and out of jail, like just constantly trying to, you know, figure it out, you know, get help. And I've tried to help him navigate through this stuff with Cope Behavioral Services, with Kodak, and all these different organizations that try to help him, because it's a tough time right now. You know, you look out there and you see people, you know, the unhoused, and you see all these things going on, and it's a really sad situation. But here's what I've learned through that experience with him is that, you know, he would go stay in the Salvation Army for 30 days, and he would go live in this place called Tent City. I don't know if you're familiar with that. You heard Tent City? It's across from the Salvation Army. I don't know if they so I go over there one time and just, you know, trying to, and the system is tough, because I'm a vice president, I have a master's degree in and I had trouble getting all the paperwork, getting all this stuff done, because it's challenging, right? So we go out there, and what I learned was this. I don't know if we have an unhoused or homeless issue more than we have a fentanyl and a mental health issues. Because I didn't see anybody out there that like was homeless, like a family or anything. I saw people that were hooked on fentanyl, drugs, or whatever it might be. I saw people that had mental health issues. And so, you know, we look at the unhoused and how we fix this stuff. And this is something along the lines that kind of you talked about. Like, how do you fix that situation? How do you fix something where you got people, whether they're panhandling, they're trying to live on the street? You know, I don't have the answer. But here's what I've learned, though, through my former ball player, is that I helped him get some disability. So now he gets a check every month and has a place, Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Food and shelter. He has that at least. And we put together a nonprofit group. He's actually the chair of it. It's called Underground United, and and we have a group of homeless people that come and talk. You know, we've only had 2 meetings, but you can imagine with somebody who's homeless, they're not going to make every meeting, right? But here's what I found out, you know, and I talked to this guy Miguel one time. I said, Miguel, what is it? He says, you know, I need a place to like take a shower if I'm going to have a job. You know, a lot of these programs that are out there, you know, to get a home, you got to be off of drugs. And you got to have a job, right? How are you going to do that if you don't have a place to put your head down, right? How are you going to do that if you don't have a place to go? So, you know, what I've kind of realized is that it's almost like housing first, right? You got to have that housing first with support services around it, you know, I mean, it's accountable stuff, but then you got to get that. And then here's the other part that I learned. There's some people out there that brains are so fried, like you're not gonna fix them, you know, their brains. But here's what we identify ourselves as a country, right? You know, a lot of times people identify like how where you live, your country is how you treat the most vulnerable, right? And in the Marine Corps, we learned we don't leave any man behind. You know, whether injured, hurt, that we bring and I think that applies to us as a human beings, right? We don't leave anybody behind, no matter who they are, how they identify, what they do. Everybody is a human being, and they deserve that humanity. So, Elia, I'm sorry I got off track, but go ahead and yeah. Say it again, I didn't hear. Khalil. Yep.
And right now he's currently working in manufacturing, and he wants to study ACT.
So are you in that new manufacturing building downtown at downtown yet? Yeah. Oh, that building's beautiful. Anybody been to downtown campus here? Raise your hand. That building is amazing. Yeah, they have the automotive thing and all that stuff. So beautiful. So Eric, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Eric, I interviewed him. So Eric is working on coming here to get his grades up and have a better semester. He could transfer to U of A, and he's working on digital arts. I was actually the dean of arts and humanities here for a while in digital arts. It's a really cool area, cool field. Yeah, so I learned stuff about about movies, right? So here in Tucson, we used to have a robust film industry. Did any of you know that?
Yes.
We had like film here, so we had these things called tax credits. So people that wanted to get in the area of film, we said, like, if you look at a lot of the different westerns and movies here, I was actually in 3 different movies when I was younger here. I was in a movie called Can't Buy My Love. You hear that?
Tucson High?
Tucson High. That was filmed at my high school. I was like in the background. You can see me. I had like my feathered Eric Estrada hair, and I'm doing the African anteater dance. So you can see me in the background. I'll pull it up one of these days. So I was in that movie because it was filmed at my high school, and then I was in a movie, the TNT version of Geronimo. I was a dead Mexican soldier in the water. Yeah, so they had like blood. And then I was in a movie called Touching Home. It was actually filmed at Pima. It was the Miller brothers and Ed Harris. But they needed extras, right? So I used to go out there and you make money for a day, Sabino Canyon. So we're bringing that back. Like we got tax credits again. So film and industry is coming back. So which is pretty cool. If any of you want to get into film or do that stuff. When I was the dean of arts and humanities, I met a gentleman named Matthew Earl Jones. He's the director of film in Arizona. And one of the things that he talked about is like we don't have a skilled workforce here in southern Arizona, so they can work on these film sets or projects with, they call them grip trucks. I learned so much about this stuff, but it's coming back. And one of the things about southern Arizona is we have what's called the 300-mile zone, right? What I mean by that is you could get different terrain within 300 miles. You can get mountains, you get deserts, and then you go into Mexico and Rocky Point and get beaches because we have a deal with them. So a lot of people are starting to come back and do film, and some of the things, like they're not the big, huge Hollywood movie, $100 million films, but you got like reality shows that have come here. Like Jersey Shore actually stayed here at Star Pass here, the resort, and had like filmed here. Reality shows, documentaries. We've had cooking shows here. We've had commercials and all kinds of stuff. So that's coming back. If any of you are in film, that's a pretty cool thing to be involved in. But Matthew Earl Jones, his brother is James Earl Jones. You guys know who James Earl Jones is? Darth Vader. Darth Vader. You got. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So let's get at least a couple more. Go ahead. Right here. Did you? Yeah.
This is Carlos. He's also interested in digital arts.
Oh,
Doing the
nice.
Same thing. He's been interested since he was like 8 years old. Been doing it. Just loves computers and making entertaining digitals for people.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, Carlos, go ahead.
Alright, this is Douglas. He has a major that I keep forgetting what's it called. Culinary.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which you might like the equivalent of cooking in some way.
Yeah.
He's pretty much doing it to be more certified on it.
All right. So Douglas, you taking classes here then?
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've probably seen you around there. So yesterday, what's great about having this campus here as a vice president is that it's culinary. So we do all the cooking. So yesterday I was trying out the beef stew, chocolate chip cookies. Yeah, I'm probably gonna gain a lot of weight while my time here. So, okay. Let's where we at? Okay, Tim, we got 2 more. We'll get through this. Go ahead, Tim.
Okay, this is Alejandro, and he's here to learn about mechanical engineering. He wants a job with a livable wage that utilizes his best attributes and skills, and designing products seems like an inspirational outlet for his creativity.
That's awesome. No, I love that mechanical engineering. What's great, we got Raytheon right down there. A lot of people get hired there right away. So go ahead.
This is Tim, like Edmund. He also known as the Cat, but in education and technology. He's going to CIS. He feels that it's time to explore the possibilities of the big tech.
Awesome. Love it. No, love it. Go ahead.
She is Julie. She plans to finish an associate degree here at Pima in liberal arts, and then complete the degree in the university.
Okay.
And in the future, she wants to be a writer.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
Yeah, I like writing. I mean, I'm not very good at it, but I like writing. Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Alejandra. She did 2 years for ESL for learning English, and she's ready to continue. And she's still kind of looking to see what she wants to get into, but she wants to get a good job, make good money, and provide for her family.
Perfect. Go ahead.
Oh, well.
Did you go already?
Yeah, because we were talking about how she wants to get in a paralegal.
A paralegal. Did you wanna go anybody else? Edna, you got anything else? And
You forget a little bit?
Yeah.
Well, I mean-
Cybersecurity.
No,
We're
IT
talking
support
about, we
technician.
got off
I could
topic,
just say it,
yeah.
I could just say
Yeah,
it.
go
that's
ahead,
fine
go
to
ahead.
say.
We're talking about others.
yeah, go ahead. What's your name again?
My name is Isaiah Flores. Hello
Isaiah.
everybody. I'm just here to get a little certificate in IT support technician, just to get a better job, better living, just a janitor on the weekends. Don't really have much schooling behind me. I got my GED last year.
Did you?
And stuff, yeah, because I was in and out of trouble all the time. I went to jail and stuff, so you know, don't really have like too much schooling in the background. My family's kind of the same way too, so just me and my 2 siblings, we kind of just decided to, you know, do some schooling and whatnot. But my long-term goal is to get a degree, a bachelor's degree in management information systems. But in the meantime, just trying to get a better job because like I just been working minimum wage since about 15. So
Yeah.
you know, hopefully I can do it because schooling's hard. Schooling's
Yeah.
hard, especially because like I don't have much going behind me at all.
Yeah.
So it's a little tough to learn.
Do
but
you use our tutoring system here? Our tutoring?
I'm trying to, but I just like sometimes I just don't got that drive. Sometimes
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I'm just busy doing other stuff. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Great.
But I'm trying to talk to I've been talking to my other professor over at downtown. So Monday I'm gonna go do some tutoring there.
Yeah.
Try to learn some shit.
Yeah, yeah. No, I tell you, like it's all about you just got to show up, man. You know, and it's gonna get like nothing worth anything happens without a struggle. I mean, so yeah, so it's part of it. No, but we're always one moment away from turning it all around. So good. And
Civil engineering. Okay. This is Mariana. This is her second semester here at PIMA. She's trying to get her degree in civil engineering. She's doing her prereqs here at PIMA to eventually transfer over to the U of A.
got it. Okay. All right. Thank you, guys. So if any of you are having trouble uploading anything, I've taken off the due date for all of the first assignments, so you should be able to get in there and finish it. You can stay in here and work on it, or if you have any questions, technical questions, I've designated Tim here to help out with that. So, you know, we got about 5 minutes left. I'll hang out up here, but just get your stuff turned in, and you guys have a good weekend. Be safe, stay out of trouble. I was got a ticket yesterday, or didn't get a ticket. I got pulled over by the cops. I'm heading to a gala thing in Saguaro Buttes for the Vale School District, and I'm going 62 on a 35, and I'm running a little bit late. I get pulled over, and I'm like, oh my goodness, you know. And so, but what I did is, for the police officer, I had my title, my light all ready to go right now, and I just said, yeah, man, I messed up, and he ended up letting me go and just gave me a warning. So just, yeah, so I was like, whew.
Hey, at least you weren't on your way back from the gala.
Yeah, I know, exactly. Okay, come up here, Edgar. Okay, guys, we'll see ya. I'll be here for a bit if you have any questions. And then, is it a technical question, Eric?
I wanted to